Perhaps the first thing that we should do here is to give an explanation. Why discuss art? I'm sure that one or two people have thought this. Why discuss art? What relevance has art got to the revolutionary movement and to socialism? Do we need art? Is art necessary? Can you imagine a world without art, without music, without color, without poetry? Can you imagine such a world? I think such a world would be very difficult to tolerate. A grey world, emptied of all genuine human content. That's what you're talking about. That's, of course, what they accuse us of. The enemies of socialism assure us that under socialism, we'll all go around in blue boiler suits and, I don't know, listen to military marches or something like that. No. No, art is important, you know. It is important. Even now, many people, many ordinary people, working class people, if you like, are quite passionate about music. I won't say what sort of music. Or the cinema, they go to the films, or even the stuff they put on television, dramas and things like EastEnders and so on. Yeah, all right, fair enough. It is bad art. It's bad art, but it is art of a sort, isn't it? It's art of a sort, caricature of art, nonetheless. And without these things, by the way, without these things, the life of most people, most workers' life is boring, tedious, monotonous, dreary, hard work. The amount of hours that they spend in work is so many hours out of their life. So much time wasted as far as the human content is concerned. And without these things, without the prospect, without the prospect of something greater than that, something more than that, life would be quite intolerable, as a matter of fact. And Trotsky, paraphrasing the Bible, wrote an article, a wonderful article. I think you find it in a collection, a marvelous collection, which you should read, called Problems of Everyday Life, where he writes about the workers in the early days of the Soviet Union, a marvelous work. There's an article, the title is very striking. Not by politics alone. That's the title that Trotsky put. I sometimes think that some of our comrades, at least perhaps many of them, are too narrow. I have that impression sometimes, unfortunately, that we don't take sufficient interest in culture, art, and things like this. This is wrong. This is wrong. And theory, if it comes to that. Some people talk about theory being abstract and so on. Let me tell you, unless you have a grasp of abstract thought and abstract thing, you'll never get past the first chapter of Capital. I'll tell you that. Free of charge. That is another matter. And the great Marxists, by the way, these great people, they were cultivated men and women. Marx and Engels actually wrote a lot about art and literature. It's not generally realized, it's a fact. There's a whole volume you can pick up. I don't know, you might be able to get it. It might still be in print. Marx and Engels on literature and art, I recommend it. Lenin also, his writings are full of references, particularly to the great Russian writers. Tolstoy, Dostoevsky, Gogol, and so on and so forth. Saltykov, Shchedrin, and so on. And Trotsky, of course, wrote a great deal of marvelous, penetrating stuff about art, both before and during and after the revolution. It's not an accident. People who think that art is not important and what role can it play in the revolution? Look, why did Trotsky in 1939, or 38, was it 38? I beg your pardon, I think it was 38. He wrote a manifesto, actually, on revolutionary art, together with the French surrealist poet, André Breton. Earlier than that, he collaborated with Diego Rivera, the great Mexican painter. Oh no, he certainly thought that art was worthwhile. But let's go back to my earlier question, which is a bit more profound than that. Is art necessary? Some things in life are necessary. To stay alive, food is necessary. Clothes are necessary. A roof over your head is necessary. But is art necessary? Now, there's a great book, again, which I recommend to you, written by the Austrian Marxist Ernst Fischer. I think it was written about 1950, thereabouts, I'm not sure. And the title of this book is the necessity of art. Now, that's a provocative thought, isn't it? I mean, art, after all, you may like it, you may dislike it, but is it necessary? Look, you've got art today in people's houses that are painters. They're painting on the wall, probably in your house or your mother's house, father's house. There'll be a painting on the wall. It's been there for years. Yeah, you never look at it. It's there as an adornment, as an ornament. That's certainly not necessary, is it? And yet, you see, there is something in art which is clearly inherent and necessary to our nature as human beings.